Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your host, Idris Khamisa. Today, I'm so excited. Some of you sitting at home who know me well, they say, but my gosh, you always get excited. I'm excited today because I'm part of an organization. This program is called INSPIRATE. I have no doubt after you listen to my three wonderful panelists whom I'm going to interview in a moment's time, you'll say, my gosh, really, it is exciting. We are stimulated. More than anything else, I want to indulge you a bit. And I also want to implore you. When you look around you today, in today's society, you find many young people and also many elders. The elders look back at their life with a kind of sadness. And they say, I wish I did. I could have. Then you find many a youth, I don't blame them, I love them, say to themselves, I have no future. There is an element of recklessness. Today, these three panelists are going to inspire you, stimulate you, and perhaps you'll say to yourself, I shall take my life into my own hands and I do not want to be a spectator anymore. And my first panelist is Mobeen Khan. Assalamu alaikum, Mobeen.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi, Idris.
Mobeen is a businessman and an entrepreneur. Mobeen, you know, we often speak about unleashing your potential. We speak about many, many things. But before I want you to respond to that topic, which is our overriding theme, tell me something about yourself. What is it that motivates you?
The fact that I can wake up every day and with my line of work, benefit thousands of people who come through events that I do and benefit their lives, that's what gets me out of bed every day.
And when you speak about events for the benefit of the viewers, what kind of events are you talking about?
I promote large-scale seminars that bring the best of the best from the world to South Africa to teach you how to live a better life, how to run your finances, how to spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally manage all those spheres of your life. And I bring the best in the business so that South Africans can benefit and understand what's going on around the world. They attend these seminars and try to take their lives to the next level. And many lives are changed in these events that reach sometimes as much as 5,000 people per event.
You know, Mobeen, I often share this with people. My life has changed since the time I met you. In fact, I find you quite an inspiration as a young man of 27, I guess, right? What is it that really, you know, makes you do this? Because I remembered coming for your last program when James Khan was invited. I came the night before, and I saw there were so many people working for you, and you were giving them instructions and doing things. What is your philosophy when it comes to work?
Well, for me, if I can add value, wealth will be created. So I don't actually go after money, I go up to giving value. And as much value as I can put in and change as many lives, my life is in turn changed. Whether it's from a point of fulfillment or satisfaction or point of finance, my life is changed when I give value. And that's why a production of mine can take up to 140 people to run a production. That's what my average production takes. But I know that 5,000 people's lives will be changed. Employing 140 people, taking on a massive venue is really a small job when you look at what it does to people's lives. And when I meet these people in the next events, it's something that's phenomenal to see a man go from where he was when I met him to being to where he really wants to be in the next event or in a year's time. So for me, it's all about adding value and changing lives.
In fact, you know, this is such a wonderful thing that we need to embrace because we have one life, right? And in this life, we all want to make a difference. We have an opportunity. And I think it's a beautiful lesson that you encapsulated for us. And don't worry, viewers, you're going to hear much more from Mobeen, right? Our next wonderful guest, and lovely smile there, alhamdulillah, is Khalid Jasat, right? He was an NLP coach and mentor. Tell me something about yourself, Khalid.
You know, I believe that I'm a positive world change agent. I'm here to contribute. Just the other day, though, I was introduced as NLP, which was naughty, loving, and playful.
I thought they're speaking about me.
And I am indeed all of that. But NLP is basically neuro-linguistic programming. I don't want to get too technical, but neuro generally regarding the brain, linguistic, the language we speak, and the programming of how we integrate the two. So that's what I do. And I'm an empowerment and a transformational coach.
No, alhamdulillah. But Khalid, you know, when you are in the twilight years of your life, what are some of the things that you would see that will say, my gosh, I was so happy that I was involved in this person's life, I made a difference. I mean, what do you see as that impact?
For me, it's about contribution. When I can do paradigm shifts, when I can change people's entire life, their outlooks, and get them the results they want, via just being a vessel, that for me will be ultimately having done what I've set out to do in my life. Just contribute and serve.
Yes, viewers, I was telling you that we have three remarkable individuals, all unique with diverse talents, but there's such a beautiful synergy. If you are sitting here, you will say, my gosh, it is so exciting. You might say, yeah! Yes, we are so excited. Alhamdulillah. Yes, we have here, last but not least, Yusuf Dinda, who is a business success coach. Tell us something about what you do, Yusuf.
Okay, Uncle Idris, firstly, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. I think we've come a long journey to get here. It's taken me a long time for me to claim my greatness that I have inside of me, and now to be able to express that to all of humanity, to be able to create abundance on earth. I think that is, for me, what I found to be my mission, God-given, to be able to fulfill on this planet. So when we talk about our dying days, if I can sit on my deathbed and know that I've impacted the world, created wealth for people, created happiness for people, created a life where people are living in terms of joy, then I know I've made an impact on this planet. And that's my contribution to what I can do for humanity.
You know, Yusuf, I must say that what you are saying, it resonates. I just feel that emotional connection, what you have said a little while ago, right? And this is the point, you see. The point is, when you look around our society, I'm sure Mobeen, you also, that your experience, Khalid, I tell people that humanity is bleeding. They've given up on life, they've given up. Therefore, it is not fortuitous or by chance we're speaking about unleashing your potential. And I'm so glad that we are discussing these different things, and I have no doubt at the end they would leave with indelible lessons and saying, yes, we are going to make a difference. Mobeen, there's just one more point I want to discuss with you in the preamble. I know when you had those challenges, and I'm sure you also had some challenges in your own life, there may be a person that is facetious or cynical at home will say, yes, it's very good. You know, they're sitting in their suits here. They perhaps came with their fancy cars. They're at a beautiful setting, Moloko, right, near Camelot Spa. And it's easy for them to talk. It's so facile. They have not gone through any challenges. Mobeen, what challenges have you gone through, and how do you respond to those challenges?
Just to complement what you said there, Uncle Idris, that there's nobody that doesn't go through challenges. The challenges are what actually are created to get your mind space to where you need to be to achieve the things you want to do. Because we naturally would not get to the position of mind space where we want to be without a challenge or without a problem or without something forcing us or pushing us in that direction. So everybody has problems to get to where they need to be. For me, I've had many challenges, and my greatest challenge started when I was 15 years old. And I was living a great life. I was a brilliant student. I had dreams of becoming an actuary when I finished school. And through my schooling career, when I was 15 years old, my dad was murdered. And that for me was a great turning point in my life, purely because I either could let the pain drive me or I could let it destroy me. And for me, I chose the pain to drive me. And I realized that I had greatness within me, and I always said that greatness is thrust upon us. And that for me was an opportunity to see greatness being thrust upon me, and I went and I took it. And I went on and I tried to find my greatness, and I went on and tried to do better in my life and use that pain to drive me to achieve greatness in my life and find success for not only myself, but for my family and everybody that was around me.
You know, Mobeen, again, there is this rapport. I feel a kingship with you. Before I got to know you, well as I do now, I had no idea you went through the trauma as a young boy to lose your father, who was your hero. But yet, you did not allow it to impact negatively. You spoke about greatness. And perhaps this is a problem today, Khalid, that too many of us are concerned about mediocrity. Too many of us are concerned about those things that are totally out of our control, but not looking at things under our control. How would you respond to Mobeen's traumatic story and the life lesson he learned?
You know, Mobeen's story inspires me. I have a motto in life, and that is, when we start changing the way we look at things, the things that we look at start to change. And I believe greatness is not measured in how many times you fall. It's more measured in how many times you stand up and rise after you fall. So I also believe that your worst lessons in life are your biggest teachers. So I'm fully inspired by Mobeen's story, and I think it's not what really happens, it's more the meaning that we give what has happened and how we unleash from there.
Khalid, thank you so much. Viewers, immediately after the break, this story will take you to another level, a level that will inspire you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this break, alhamdulillah, there was such beautiful interaction about what is being said. And it is so beautiful when people speak from their heart. And when you speak from your heart, you connect with other people. And when you speak from your heart, you can also unleash your potential. In the first part, Mobeen spoke about his philosophy of life. He also shared with us the traumatic experience of losing a father. But he did not allow that death, painful though it is, to affect his perspective. He always sought greatness, and he's making a big difference. Then Khalid, another wonderful brother sitting here, he also spoke about life, and he spoke about how you can change the state when he responded specifically to what Mobeen has said. And then, alhamdulillah, Yusuf always speaks so eloquently about abundance. And I think there are three beautiful lessons to be learned. The one is, do not allow life challenges to get you down. The second one is to look at life in a different way, in a positive way. Then you see the beauty of life. And of course, when Yusuf spoke about generosity, if you have a generosity of heart, there'll be abundance around you. Yusuf, before the break, you are going to respond. particular individual who promised his wife he'll buy her some jewelry. And he was a teacher of English, very pedantic, esoteric, and rather didactic, So his wife was a very simple person, just went to Standard 2 school. So after they got married, she said to him, darling, where is my ring? So he said to her, in his English, he said to her, young lady, my present pecuniary disposition precludes me from procuring the object of your desire. So she said, I don't get it. He says, yeah, you're right. So I just I'll share that with you. It's a light-hearted moment, right? Something I want to make three statements now. Three statements about what I've experienced. I deal with issues in the community, and I travel with Allah's blessing throughout the world. And I would encourage people to travel. It opens your mind. Otherwise, we are steeped in books in the theoretical world. I find that our homes have become dysfunctional. I find that our youth have no purpose, many of them. Then I find people who indulge in self-pity. And there are many other issues. I'm not diminishing what they go through. Life is a challenge. And I also said that sometimes when any person has a modicum of success, we erroneously believe he had everything on the platter, as it were. But once you engage with him, you realize, my gosh, this person has gone through a lot of pain, right? So, Mobeen, coming to you, I know your particular passion is about dealing with the youth, and you've got a lot of love for the youth, and you want to do something for them. What advice you'll give to any young person today who has no idea what to do, who sometimes believe, his future is going to be bleak?
Find your purpose. Because if you find your purpose and you find what you're passionate about, everything else in your life will sort itself out.
And someone sitting there will say, fine, it's easy to talk about finding your purpose. From your own life experience, how did you find your purpose? Do you have people around you to support you? Or it was something that you said, I'm going to look for it?
Very simple. I did a lot of research in my life. And one of the research I did was deathbed research. And the other research I'd done was, what does every successful entrepreneur does when he reaches his mountaintop? And you find there's really only one thing both of those people, one is the deathbed guy ever wishes for, and the guy at the mountaintop ever wants, is fulfillment and wishing that they did more. So when an entrepreneur gets to the top of his mountain, he wishes that he could benefit more people, change more lives, and looks for more recognition and fulfillment. The man that's about to die says, I wish I benefited more people. So I looked at those two people and decided I'm not going to wait to get to my mountaintop, because success is a journey. It's not a destination. I'm not going to wait to get to the end of my life and realize that I could have changed millions of people's lives. I'm going to do that now. So that research helped me realize that my purpose in life is to change as many people's lives and to benefit humanity at large.
Mobeen, it's such a powerful story. Even if the viewers have to just take this away and say, you know what, let me search for it. Let me do some research. And let me understand what you are saying. It's about time is a very precious commodity. We need to take it seriously. And your aim is to help as many people as possible. And that inspires you. Right? That's excellent, right? I know, Yusuf, you want to say something.
The issue in the world is that you have only a few people that are playing at their highest potential. And you have to ask why. There's no difference between them and the rest, the 99% of the world. We look at people that are successful and we have a story to tell about them. Either whatever, we create stories. They have it too easy or whatever. We don't know what they've gone through. The question is, are we prepared to do what it takes? Because trust me, and Mobeen, you'll bear me out here, for an entrepreneur to be successful and play at his highest potential, whomever, an athlete, it takes hard work. It takes sacrifice. It takes this dogmatic approach of persistence, perseverance, criticism, yet not worrying about what people say. And that's the criterion that is required.
Just to add to that, to get what 1% of the world have, you must be willing to do what 1% of the world does.
It's so true. I think what you are saying, I hear the theme of sacrifice. is personal sacrifice. Are you prepared to do the hard work? Are you prepared to slog? Are you prepared to do this? And I recall this quite vividly. And we often use the word success. Now, there are some people have a clear distinction between success and significance. Because when I say success to the viewers, what is going on in their mind? They only see it in monetary terms, a person driving a fancy car, staying in a palatial home, that's a sum total. But when you define significance, is a person that what you are subscribing to is a person that impacts on the lives of other people. And that's so fundamentally important. What's the use of your success if no one else enjoys it except yourself? But significance is that how can people move from that? Because sometimes I see, Khalid, and this is where I want to engage you, that sometimes individuals, they are smug and complacent, and there's almost a degree of arrogance, I've got it all, how do you do, I've got the money, they're very condescending and they almost abrasive in the tone. You are nothing, what business do you have, right? Now, Khalid, why is there this mindset? I mean, what should people do to change the mindset, especially the young people today? I know of siblings comparing themselves. Hey, that brother is useless, he did not make money, but this brother is the real brother. How do you respond to that?
I think success transcends beyond money, beyond entrepreneurship. Yes, it's important to some people, but it comes back to your core value systems. And when your core value systems are focused on growth and limiting or unlimiting your potential, that's when success really comes in.
Again, our viewers did not see the excitement, the animation, the beautiful lessons that we can learn. I have no doubt in my mind, if you listen attentively, you will do well. I shall be back. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. I'm sure you must be living in suspense, waiting for the story. And Khalid is so excited to share the story with us. Khalid, please share the story with us.
Indeed, I'm excited because it gives me goosebumps, this story. So, having failed many times to scale Mount Everest, Sir Edmund Hillary, one day in one of those failures, was standing at the portrait and looking at a portrait of Mount Everest. Looking at the portrait, he said to Mount Everest, "The more you reject me, the more I am determined to conquer you, scale you, and stand on top of you." Looking at Mount Everest, he said, "You know why Mount Everest? Because even as majestic as you are, Mount Everest, you can't grow any further. I, as a human, will never stop growing." And he was not only talking about him or himself, he was talking about each and every one of us. The limits we create for our lives are the limits we will live by. And we need to learn to break those limits so we can conquer. As deep as the Pacific Ocean is, it can't grow any further. What is the bandwidth of growth for us as humans?
Yes, it's powerful, right? Because I think the point, and for me, perhaps one of the most single critical quality in individuals who truly succeed and who are people of significance are people who are determined. And I want to say to the people who have listened to this beautiful story, said so beautifully by Khalid about Mount Everest, and I want to say to everyone, your summit awaits you. Your summit awaits you. Yes, viewers, you are listening to this program, Unleashing Your Potential, and we are known as INSPIRATE. And I will have a story to share with you. Not that I'm competing with you. People say I'm an excellent raconteur, but I would try. Please pray for me. For me, this story is very evocative, and stories are something that we need to share with people because it excites you, it effects change. This story is about an eagle. And the picture you have of any eagle is the king of the skies. It is majestic. It is focus. Some time ago, this eagle laid his eggs on the highest mountain. And mysteriously, one of the eggs rolled down the mountainside, and I want you to visualize it, and landed in the nest of a duck. Little while later, the ducklings hatched, and even there was an eaglet. And the mother duck was teaching the ducklings to wade in the water. The ducklings had little or no trouble adjusting to the environment of the water. But this poor little eaglet, and I want you to visualize it. I want you to understand this little eaglet. Poor little eaglet was also wading in the water. Felt very uncomfortable. And one day, it looked up into the sky. And lo and behold, it saw its brothers and sisters flying. And it said, I wish I could fly. I wish I could fly. This story resonates with me. It resonates because there are so many lessons, and I want you to engage the story. Lessons about life. Perhaps we are like that eaglet. We are born for great things, yet we are groveling. I mean, how does the story resonate with you, Yusuf?
Wow, this is so touching because I relate to it myself on a personal level. For most of my life, I was that little eagle, plain small, not believing in myself. Every time I needed to stand up and be counted, I'd sabotage myself. Something in me would tell me, no, it's better to be Mr. Average, Mr. Cool, because then nobody cares, right? The guy that stands out, you get criticism. It's nice to be a nice guy. Everyone loves you. Does that mean you're truly playing to your highest potential? And it's only when I reflected inside of me and eradicated all the covers, the layers that society put onto me, that I allowed myself to express myself to the highest potential and soared as high as that eagle could. It's amazing.
You know, Yusuf, listening to you, it makes a lot of sense. I remembered meeting you maybe some 8 months ago. And I said to myself, if only Yusuf knows, and I said this to our friend Abdul, Manak. I said to him, does Yusuf know the potential he has? And I'm so glad, Yusuf, that you are unleashing your potential. I'm so glad because not only you have made a difference to your life, you're making the difference to the lives of so many people. Khalid, the story, does it resonate with you? And what are some of the lessons you gleaned from it?
Idris, the story was awesome. It was overwhelming, mind-blowing. A few things, and I actually want to take all of us to a higher level. I want to first talk about actualizing your potential. That potential is innate. We can't create potential. Potential already exists. We only create limitations against that potential. So when we break limitations, the sky is the limit, no pun intended. But even at that level, I'm going to tell you a little story that I learned about the eagle. An average eagle lives for 70 years. But when it gets to the age of 40, it's got to go through 150 days of excruciating pain because its beak is no more as powerful as it used to be. And in order for it to pluck its feathers, it's going to actually break off its beak. So it goes into isolation for a period of about 150 days and goes through this painful experience of breaking its beak. A lot of eagles die at the age of 40 because they don't want to go through the process of this pain. But if they succeed and they go through the process of pain of breaking their beak, a new beak then is developed, and that new beak then plucks their feathers, and the eagle then takes flight and lives for another 30 years on average. So when we actualize our potential, no matter where we are, even at the level of eagles, we still are going to be faced with challenges, and we still need to unleash our potential even at that level.
You know, Khalid, this is the same theme that is so pervasive, what all of you are saying. The idea of sacrifice, the idea of determination, the idea of almost reinventing yourself as the eagle is doing. And that's such a powerful, powerful lesson. So we sometimes make assumptions, and I want to share this with the viewers, because there's so many beautiful lessons, so didactic, so powerful. Because one of the critical things, this is very important, right, is that many of you are sitting there, some of them are reluctant to embrace change. They say, yes, the stories are very evocative, very, very powerful, but how do I change my life? What do I do? I'm sitting at home, what do I do? What is the first step I should take, you know? And before you respond to that, Mobeen, the story of this eagle, I mean, I know it also resonated with you. What are some of the lessons you take from the story?
I think everybody can resonate with the eagle's story, and I think we were all that eaglet at one point. Until we realized or went on a journey to find what our greatest asset, talent, potential was, we all were that eaglet. And for me, the greater part of the story is your environment is very key. Because if you're in an environment, if you're swimming with the ducks, you're going to swim with the ducks. And if you're flying with the eagles, you're going to fly with the eagles. And that's essentially what it is. So for me, I think we should pick our environment very well, because that actually breeds what our future will look like.
I think it's a very, very powerful statement. I think if the viewers, each one of them, just analyze your environment. And that reminds me of a story. It's a very powerful story. I met once a cameraman, and he was a Christian and very passionate about Christianity. So I said to him, what is your motivation in life? He says, you know what? When I was in standard 3, that is grade 5 now, my teacher told me that you are the product of your environment. At that time, I was too naive to understand the meaning of those words. Much later in my life, somehow those words began to resonate. It was almost like an echo. You are the product of your environment. Then he said, I looked at my environment. What did I see? I saw pimps there. I saw prostitutes. I saw drug peddlers. I saw people, you know, the scum of the earth. Then I realized that if I'm going to remain in this environment, I'm going to become like that. And that day I made a decision, and that was a turning point. And sometimes in life, we'll only understand the true meaning of our life at the time of death. I think it's an appropriate time that we got to end this segment. And again, I want to thank my wonderful panelists. Really, I just want the viewers to get to know these wonderful individuals who inspire me, who will also help you to enable your potential. They'll say, my gosh, I have no regrets because I was able to unleash my potential. Hee-haw! This is Idris Kamisa. We'll be back immediately after the break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm sure you, the viewers, are having an exciting time. The buzz, the energy here. I've learned so much today. And as the brothers are speaking, I'm reflecting on my own life. Yes, we are speaking about the story about the eagle. And I think it resonates with all of us. The issue that many of us have the capacity to do great things, to do noble things, to soar like the eagle. The sky is the limit. And what are some of the other lessons that, Khalid, perhaps we can extract from the story?
When we put someone up on a podium essentially what that is telling you, that there is the innate potential within you that you've identified and that's resonated with that person. And follow that dream. Don't be pushed by life. Be pulled by this dream. You can elevate to that level because if you've identified it, it's there. It's innate. And for me, when you identify potential like that, it's only the potential in you that you need to unleash and get to that level.
Excellent, Khalid. Right, I mean, for me, there's a lesson that I perhaps learned from this. We often allow people's opinions of us to affect us. The people that we surround ourselves with, Mobeen mentioned that earlier on. I think it's critical that we need to be with people that are not toxic, people that are positive, who are supportive. Because many of us are often affected negatively. And I think as a person that is doing parenting, they say psychologists have said 85% of the words a child listens to from the mother or father is negative. That negative talk leads to a child's negative self-talk. And he says to the child, I'm useless, my father said that, my teachers have said that, I'm fit for nothing, I'm ready-made for failure. So how can we change this mindset? Because your mind determines the way you see things. Mobeen, you want to share something?
I don't believe anybody was born differently to somebody else. I do believe that the environment and what you absorbed into your brain, I like to look at my brain as a canvas. And that what I put into the canvas is how it will look and as well as portray to the world and the way it will behave moving forth into the world. And if people can understand that and put good into their minds and keep themselves in very, very good environments that benefit them, I do believe that they would find they would unleash their potential or find that passion or talent in their life to go forth and reach their highest success.
And also the other point that was raised is the whole issue, and Khalid, you mentioned this, that the talent is intrinsic, it's innate. We need to find it. So what you are essentially saying, we mustn't mimic other people, right? We can learn from some worthy examples, but we need to find the talent and follow that with passion.
It's that inner voice, that authentic self that is screaming, it's dialoguing every day with you. You just need to be still, quiet, and listen. And, just to add to Mobeen, if life is a canvas, which it is, then thoughts is the paintbrush.
What I want to say here is that, and I think that's maybe the best way to sum it up, for that eaglet to get to become that eagle, there's a process. And there are a number of factors that one needs to go to. The power is always within you. It's not out there somewhere. It's within you. You need to dream big. So the mindset is critical. Then you need to resonate with what it is that you were put on this earth for. So what is your purpose? Because each one of us have our own unique purpose. Because when you have an understanding of what that purpose is, you can unleash it. And you need to get attached to it emotionally. We talked a lot about emotions here. And then when you do that, naturally your actions start following that you're connected to. And then an amazing thing happens. When you start following your action is when our Creator starts blessing us with miracles. Things that you never thought would ever happen to you in your life. And amazing things happen. We would not be sitting here today if it wasn't for this process. This was a concept that we had thought about just about 6 months ago, and today we're sitting here and inspiring people. So there's a particular methodology, a particular process that one can follow. Tried and tested. People are doing it unconsciously. And here we are able to provide people with a conscious element, a conscious method of how to attain success, whatever that success may mean to that individual.
We are told as Muslims and people of faith to always reflect on your life. Ask yourself on a daily basis, how did you spend your life? Did you make a difference? Was Allah with you today? And these are fundamental questions. This is the true essence of life, isn't it? And if you look at people who left legacies, of course, the most eloquent example of beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I'm saying this to just purely validate an experience I had the other day, not out of immodesty, but just it moved me to tears. It was just yesterday, I was visiting I went to a hospital to do some work, and there was a lady there with a mother, a Muslim lady, and she greeted me. She said, Idris Khamisa. I said, yes. She said, you know what? And I teared. She said to me, you made a difference to our home. Now our home is a bed of roses. And I was so touched by it. It's perhaps Allah's way of saying, continue what you are doing. You are affecting the lives of people. And this is the whole point, you see. The point, what all of you are speaking about, is understanding your purpose. Knowing exactly who you are. What were you born to do? The capacity you have. The talent you have of leaving a legacy. You know, I want to just share this with the viewers, that this program, and we have many exciting programs for you on a weekly basis. I have no doubt you have already phoned your friend and said, come, listen to. Has some people say, Uncle Idris, Yusuf Dinda, Khalid Jasat, and Mobeen Khan. The ambience, the excitement is so great. And I was sharing this with my brothers here, the excitement that I have, how I've been inspired. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, you see our Twitter handle, you see our Facebook page there. Please interact with us. And I spoke to many people before the program, and some of them have some questions. Are you getting nervous, Khalid? Are you relaxed? No, the headmaster in me has come out, very pedantic, Right. Yusuf, to you, right? There are 3 questions I want to ask. There are many questions, but I hope we can accommodate at least 3, right? The question is, of a young person, he says, I'm 37 years old. I've tried many things in my life. And since you're involved with business coaching and something that you have a passion for, and he said, but I have never aligned myself to any philosophy of life. I pray a lot and I try to get help from other people. And it seems that people are tired of me asking for that help. What should I do? Because I'm pretty desperate now.
Look, life is a journey of finding the self. And a lot of times we may have great dreams. I used to have these great dreams of wanting to earn X amount per month. And it was never happening. I asked myself, why? But I was blocking myself from that. I found out that I was brought up in a home that said, you got to work hard to make that money. And to have attained that figure, it didn't take hard work only. It required you to be smart. We are brought up with various paradigms. Rich people are arrogant. Rich people are greedy. Rich people don't take you to heaven or won't go to heaven. So these are paradigms that we need to eradicate. And a lot of times we block ourselves. We are our own worst enemies.
I think that's a very, very powerful point. And I think it's a reminder for us to reflect, to look at the mental blocks in our life. Once you remove it, like your potential will be unleashed, like a waterfall gushing forth. And all of us have the abundance. And I want people to believe in themselves. And I'm tired of people making excuses, who are blaming circumstances. From what you have shared with us and Mobeen's traumatic story about his father, he did not allow that story to affect him. He doesn't indulge in self-pity. But I know every time he speaks about his father, he's emotional because he loves his father. He prays for his father. And therefore, he's also striving for a greatness. I hope I can continue with this program. Our time is nearly up. And I must tell you, Mobeen, thank you so much for your wisdom, your insight, and sharing some personal insights into your life. And Khalid, NLP, naughty, very naughty.
Very loving.
Loving.
And extremely playful.
Extremely playful.
And I'm humbled, honored to be able to sit on this INSPIRATE panel and serve. Thank you.
And Yusuf Dinda, alhamdulillah, always eloquent, very deep, and very, very profound. Yes, viewers, there we have it. INSPIRATE. Today we spoke about unleashing your potential. Are you going to wait tomorrow? Do it now. The time is now. INSPIRATE. This is your genial host saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.